Heyo, what's up, Killas? It is your final Gromel coming at you from my Killer podcast. And today we are doing a hit list. My buddy dude who loves movies loves this series, so he is keeping it thriving for me. And if you are not new around here, you are not going to be surprised about the topic of today. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know what's going on here. Things are looking weird around here, and I could not figure out what it was, but my light is different. I was like, why does this look weird? Something looks weird. I couldn't figure out why the lighting with this lighting looks weird. It's this light. It's red. It's usually blue. I changed my lighting for the Lost Girls episode, and I forgot to change this back to blue. So now, so it's like messing up this lighting. I don't know. I'm trying something different with my hair. Let me know. I don't know. I don't know that I like it that much. So things are weird around here. But today we're doing a hit list. To backtrack, I'm going to talk a little bit about Borderlands. So that movie drops in theaters this weekend, and unfortunately, your girl doesn't get to go. Nobody's really talking about this movie, and it's unfortunate. I'm going to flash some images up on the screen for you guys, but nobody's really talking about this movie a whole lot. I am a little too enthused about this movie, I would say, but if, like I said, if you're not new around here, it's not going to surprise you that I love these kind of movies. This is a dystopian film. I don't know. I went back and forth with this one. It's either a dystopian film or it's like a space western. I even hit my boy, dude who loves movies, up today in his DMs, and I was like, what is this movie? Is it a dystopian film or is it a space western? And he told me space western sounded cooler, which I can't deny that. Space western does sound cooler. I'm gonna go with dystopian film because that is the theme of this video. We are gonna be doing a hit list of dystopian movies because I happen to really like that subgenre. I absolutely love these movies, and I found more than I thought I would. So this is gonna go to show you guys how deep my love for this subgenre goes. And it's not one that people talk about a lot. If you're unfamiliar with what a dystopian film is, I will give you the Google definition of it. So it's basically a film that depicts an imagined future society where life is extremely bad due to oppression, deprivation, or terror. In movies, they often feature a corrupt government, and the worlds that they depict have super nightmarish qualities and things of such. So that is basically what Google depicts a dystopian flick to be. I absolutely love these kind of movies. You guys know me, you know I love my tank girl. She might be in this stack. I don't want to give too much away before we get into the actual hit list, but these are my jams. These are my kind of movies. I love them so much. Costuming in these type of movies is just outstanding. I come from a fashion background. I work in a fashion photography photo studio. That is my job. I do it every day for a living. So these type of movies are just right up my alley. They're super fun. The hit list is dystopian movies that are like Borderlands. So here we go. Without any further ado, let's get into a list of dystopian movies and or space westerns. Kill the comments below. Let's have an argument about what Borderlands is. Is it dystopian or is it space western? Tell me, guys. What do you think? Also, what do you think about this? I don't know. Let's get into the hit list. So first up on the list, I have Escape from LA, but I also have Escape from New York. So these two are clearly dystopian. They involve their own little governmental societies. They're futuristic. They star Kurt Russell. They're absolutely amazing movies. I absolutely love Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. He's so cool And I love his jackets in these movies and his outfits. He's just super awesome. The eye patch really does it for me in these movies. We're gonna move on. Next up, we have Waterworld. So this one does take place mainly on the ocean. It does count. Going to count it. Kevin Costner is amazing in this movie. This one really was super cool when it first came out, and I don't really give a shit what people say. This movie gets dogged on a little bit, and I get it. I get why it gets dogged on, but I love it. It's an action movie, and it's unique, and it does have its own little corrupt government in it, and Dennis Hopper plays a really awesome bad guy in this movie, so I love it. All right, this next one could be argued as the least dystopian on the list, but it does take place in the future. There is a corrupt hierarchy in it, and I just love it so much that I want to talk about it, and that's Class of 1999. It is more of a school gang futuristic type of movie, but this has some of the coolest practical effects at the end when it comes to the robots. If I can flash maybe like the smallest of clips without getting demonetized, I will. I absolutely love the end of this movie. It's just so great, but I wanted to bring this up because it's just a super fun movie and it doesn't get talked about enough. So we wanted to talk about it. Next up, and this is one of the newer ones, and that's Boy Kills World. This one snuck into the new movies this year. Not a lot of people were talking about this one either. Definitely falls into the category of dystopian movies. It stars Bill Skarsgård. He's having a hell of a year. It's a super fun action movie. He plays a deaf mute, and then there's a voiceover that speaks for him throughout the entire movie. It's super fun, and it's action-packed, so I highly recommend this one. Next up is Total Recall. This one technically counts as dystopian, but it also could technically be... Would it technically be a space western? I don't know. I feel like these two subgenres kind of go hand in hand. Argue with me in the comments, please. But Total Recall, totally awesome movie. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger. Super classic movie. I don't really need to say too much about this one because everyone has seen it. Next one up is Demolition Man, starring Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. This one is just all times. Wesley Snipes' character in this movie is all time. He is hilarious. This is an action-packed movie. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. I feel like everyone probably has. It's definitely a super fun action comedy, and there are some super hilarious parts in it, so I would definitely check that one out. Next up is Running Man, which is another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This one is super fun. I watched this one a whole bunch when I was a kid. It was always so interesting to me because he technically gets captured and then thrown into a game show where he has to kind of fight for his life. It's kind of funny. I don't know if it's actually meant to be funny, but like some of the costuming and some of the games he has to play and some of the people that are chasing him are kind of hilarious. But this is another one where I feel like everyone has probably seen it, but I definitely recommend checking this one out. There are some gems in this list, okay? Next up, I want to talk about Mad Max. Pretty much all of the Mad Maxes count here. So Mad Max, Road Warrior, Thunderdome, and Fury Road. I really love Fury Road. Charlize Theron is one of my favorite actresses of like all time. And Tom Hardy is amazing in that movie, and I highly recommend it. But I love all of the Mad Maxes. Mel Gibson was one of my favorite actors too when I was younger. But these movies are clear-cut dystopian. There's no question about those ones. But these movies I highly recommend checking out if you haven't seen them. But those are also movies that I'm pretty sure everyone has seen. Next up, I want to talk about Cyborg. This is a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I watched a lot of his movies when I was younger. Absolutely love him. This movie is great. This movie is so good. I don't know like what the thoughts and feelings are about this movie. Not a lot of people talk about it, and I kind of feel like it doesn't get a lot of love. But it's a great movie. This guy, I forget what his name is, but he's terrifying in this movie. And it's a great dystopian flick, and the costuming is great. And it's a good little story, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is great in it. I definitely recommend checking it out if you have. I'm gonna say that about. I recommend checking out all of these movies because, like I said a million times, I love all of them. Next up is The Fifth Element. I think I've already kind of touched on this one. This one might be more of a space western, but it could still be considered a dystopian. It still might be considered a dystopian. Whatever. Absolutely love this film. Mila Jovovich is great in it. It also has Bruce Willis in it. The costumes in this movie are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And two of my favorite characters, Gary Oldman and Chris Tucker, are all time. All time. Two of the best written characters ever in a movie. So funny. So funny. Here's a movie that gets talked about never. Cherry 2000. So this stars Melanie Griffith and David Andrews. Nobody talks about this ever. This was a Kino Lorber release. You could probably still get it on their website. This is basically about, in the future, you can buy yourself a robot to do whatever you want with. She can cook your food, clean your house, be your wife. This man's love of his life was a robot, and her chip got damaged, so he has to go out into like a no man's land to try and get another one, and he comes across all these ruffians, so he runs into Melanie Griffith, and he commissions her to help him get this chip, and like all this stuff happens, and of course, whatever. It's a great movie. Nobody talks about it. Check it out. Cherry 2000. Next up, we have Turbo Kid. This was a Raven Banner release. They do good stuff. They have great slipcovers. This is a fun movie. It's basically about this kid. He meets this girl, and they get into like some shenanigans, and like this guy is after them. It's a super fun movie. Definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. I would probably say maybe why? It's a super fun movie, and from what I remember, there are some pretty gory scenes in it. So check this one out. I don't know if Raven Banner still has the slipcovers, though. I don't know. I can't guarantee that. Next up is Solar Babies. I just bought this. I did not have this movie. I wanted the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is outrageous. It's outrageous. It must be out of print. So I got the DVD instead. The DVD was pretty fairly priced at like $12 on Amazon. This looks like one of those little Aussie releases. So, and it came new. It's brand new, which sucks because that kind of makes me not want to open it. I did find the VHS too. Thanks, eBay. Another dystopian film. This movie gets a little bit of hate too, but I've seen this movie and I don't hate it. I like it a bunch. But this has Jamie Gertz and Jason Patric in it. It's really cute. It's a cute movie. I like it a lot. Basically about this corporation that's hoarding water, and they take these kids from their parents to go work for them, and some of these kids rebel against the corporation and blah blah blah, the usual but it's fun. I recommend checking it out. You might not like it. I don't know. It doesn't get a lot of love. It has some like bad digital effects and whatnots, but whatever. It's a product of its time. Last but certainly not least, Tank Girl, which is my favorite all-time dystopian movie that I recommend checking out. If you watch any of these, watch this one. It's basically about Tank Girl. They live in a home out in the middle of nowhere, and this man's is also hoarding water. His devilish men go in and kill her boyfriend, and she exacts revenge and comes across a group of kangaroo people to help them. Yes, it sounds silly. Whatever. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. Check it out. This is an Umbrella release. I just got it. It's fantastic. I feel like I unboxed this on one of my videos, maybe, so you might have to search around on my channel to check that out, but it's absolutely beautiful. That is it. That is all. That is my hit list of 15, I believe, dystopian flicks that are similar to Borderlands if you cannot get out to the theaters to see that one, or if you do get out to the theaters to see that one and you enjoy it and you want to see more movies like it, here is a list of 15 movies to check out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you would like to help support me and my channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and kill that bell for your girl. Share this video with your friends. If you'd like to go above and beyond, yog on over to my Patreon or yog below and become a channel member. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to have you. I think that's it. I think we covered everything. Until the next time we gather, have a killer day. Peace.